Welcome to a very good edition here of the Warriors Kings post game 5. I'm Darren Breyer, your host. I got TylerMcGuirk here with me from Fatboy Fadeaway Sports, brought to you by Variety Sports Network. TylerMcGuirk, a big win for the Warriors tonight, 123-116. Really came down to the end. A lot to get into tonight on this game as the Warriors take a 3-2 series lead, heading back to Golden State Friday night with a chance to close out the series and advance to the second round here. Your thoughts, sir, on the game here?
Just a spectacular game from the big three of the Warriors and Kevon Looney. When is Kevon Looney getting a statue out in front of Chase Center at some point? Man, this guy is ridiculous. These numbers he's been putting up the last two playoffs, he's unbelievable. Obviously, it's only game 5. Game 5. We have one more to win. I called it
22 rebounds tonight, Tyler. 7 offensive. 7 offensive rebounds as well. My God.
He's just a beast. He does everything you could ask for from a center in this modern age of basketball. Steph Curry.
There was a lot of people not thinking that Sabonis would be able to take advantage of him too. And that hasn't lived up to it at all.
You saw the text message I sent you. Sabonis seems like he sucks. He can't do anything against these Warriors. They let him shoot jumpers. They have a great game plan. The people calling Kerr out for resting Curry in the first quarter, saying, "Oh, he sucked." Leave Kerr alone. They've won 25 straight road playoff game in 25 straight series. Just ridiculous. The Warriors are who they are for a reason, and I can't see it going away this playoffs anyway.
What'd you think of Draymond tonight? I thought he was spectacular at times, and then like almost old Draymond where he was looking to be aggressive, but almost too much old Draymond where like he was looking to score. I was like, no, usually you make that pass. What's going on? Or like stuff like that. And then he threw that terrible pass to the backcourt where Monk steals and then gets the 5th foul on Wiggins there. So he had some emotions going at the end, but that defensive play he made in the corner where he wasn't even looking and then hangs on and tips the ball. I gotta say that was one hell of a play too. I'll bring Casey on here. But I thought that was one hell of a play there. Casey, what's going on? We just started it here. We're just talking the game here about Draymond, just kind of getting into Draymond here and how big of a factor he was offensively, but also just kind of the swings of emotions he also provided with some of his passes and missed layups and that kind of thing too. Your thoughts, sir, on Draymond there in the game overall there?
Yeah, sorry, I was just like the Warriors a little late to start the party, but yeah, Draymond played really well, man. I said he could only play 18 minutes, but
not tonight.
No, he showed up. He showed out. It was impressive to watch. 20 plus points, first time since 2019.
Has he scored like that? I feel like that was like a final performance. It felt like, like offensively, it felt like he was looking like that, right? Like he never seems to ever shoot like that. I was stunned. It's almost like a game plan oriented thing. But then that fadeaway at the end, that's not game plan oriented.
Draymond played the best game he's played since probably game 7 against Cleveland when they ended up losing. He came out aggressive. He rebounded the last. He didn't really rebound to start, but he got people involved. He played great defense. That steal where he's not even looking on Davion Mitchell, where he steals the pass in the corner in the last 3 minutes of the game. Just ridiculous. And then that little one-step fadeaway. I remember people I these troll accounts that did oh, Draymond used to have game when he was in the G League when he was a rookie, showing these shots he'd make off the dribble. And he did it in this game. He was great. And I'm the biggest Draymond person.
I was gonna say
I'll ridicule the man. This was a great game by Draymond Green.
It sounds like Tyler's finally turning the page on Draymond Green.
He'll disappoint me at some point.
If he plays like this.
Playoffs as well, yeah.
All right, let's get – I also wanted to touch on some of the other parts of it too. What do you guys think of Poole's factor? We got a few people here watching here with us. If you got any thoughts on the game, feel free to comment in there. We'll definitely touch on that as well. A lot of things. I thought Clay's part of the game was a little frustrating for me because he was playing so well at that period. He kind of started out slow. I wrote down – gosh, we got to get him going. And then he kind of gets it going. But he just got those weird fouls. That one at the end of the second half on that kind of stupid pull play. Van Gundy was pissing me off too. That's a good call. Good call. It's shut up, man. Reggie Miller wouldn't have liked that one. He would have liked that. God, this game is annoying. But he had that one. Then he gets that one where he goes straight up. I thought I don't know. That was a tough one to get too. Then he gets another. He just kind of – I felt like he had it going. But, man, if he could have stayed out of foul trouble, he could have really had a big night, I thought too.
Yeah, I agree with you. The third and fourth foul were tough to take. That little like where he's getting held. Both the guards on the Warriors, Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson, get held every time they try and get off a screen. He got off the screen and they called an offensive foul. And then the fourth one, like you said, he looked like from that angle, he went straight up, tried to block it. The guy, Fox, I believe it was, ran into him. They called a foul. And it was frustrating. He got to go. He was on fire to end that second quarter, and you didn't see him for a lot of the game.
How about that shot Casey made at the end of the game in that third in the corner fading away, that deep too? That was ridiculous.
No, Clay was in his bag tonight. It was like a little early Clay game 6, but man, when he gets hot, he gets hotter than Steph. And the shots that he was making, like you were saying, like follow away threes in the corner, and then like couple leaners from the 3-point range. It was like, damn, like those shots that you're making, like they just bypass them. The announcer's like, oh, that's a tough shot. And I kept saying, that's a tough shot. I'm like, that's a ridiculous shot. Like,
unbelievable.
It's so hard to do that.
I send out a tweet. This is why I'll always F with Klay Thompson. You know he's not scared. He always will take the tough shot, and he's not afraid of it. He'll miss. He'll piss people off. But just the fact that he is willing to do that, and he is a great shooter. He's a top 3 shooter in the NBA history, in my opinion. I have him above everybody but Steph, in my opinion.
The one play, Tyler, I was gonna say is like me and you were like Clay stopped dribbling, and then he dribbled. It felt like for like 10 seconds, and like Herder left him, and he just pulled up from 30.
Yeah, that was a weird play.
And I was like, okay, Clay, do your thing, bro. Do your thing.
I want to go to the Kings side of it just for a second as we kind of talk about the Warriors. But they got off to a hot start. Like I thought they were like, what are they, 8 for 12 in the first quarter from 3-point range. Murray came out exceptional. Don't let the man go right. Do not let him and Monk go to the right. Good God. Every time they go to the right, bad things happen. I felt like even Harrison Barnes, right baseline. Just don't let them go to the right there. But I thought they got off to a really good start. Sacramento, as good as you'd want from those guys coming in. Fox, though, I thought just didn't look the same. I think it's play in the fourth quarter and him kind of deferring to Monk. I felt like more than he maybe normally would. What did you think of his game tonight, Tyler, playing through that with Fox? And like how did it change the game, maybe?
I thought I disagreed until he poked that ball away from Steph on the steal.
That's kind of what I mean.
I thought Monk just took over the game. We couldn't stay in front of him. The first 3 quarters is like, man, we've been overrating Monk. He's kind of a bum. Yeah. He had 0 points in the first 3 quarters, so like there's 2 minutes left. And then he just took over that fourth quarter. He kept finishing over Looney on these little bankers. It was very impressive. So I just felt like Fox wasn't needed really at that point, or they felt more comfortable going to Monk. Fox was still good. Fox is lights out. He's a great player. It's hard to stay in front of him.
That injury, though, really changed it. It felt like when he did kind of mess with it there and then you felt like he was deferring a little bit more than he usually would at that point there, Case. I thought Murray, though, I he was a big factor for them. I just feel like now as the series is progressing, the Warriors are – now that we got Wiggins back, he seems like he's finding his rhythm a little bit more, even though I'm not necessarily liking what I'm getting from DiVincenzo and like Kuminga or Moody and all these guys on certain nights. A team – against the Kings, this should be a series they should win, like we said in 6. And this was the game we were talking about they would have to win on the road. And tonight they did prove it.
Yeah, first of all, thankfully Malik Monk was okay, because that was
that looked dangerous.
That looked like real nasty. But going forward, the Warriors locked up on defense. That's the best defense they played in a long time, especially with the Kings with firepower and number 1 rated offense. But Kevin Herter, I thought, really let him down.
Man,
I thought he was the one guy that you need a third scorer, especially if Harrison Barnes is not going to produce what he did. But Kevin Herter, to me, was the reason why the Kings lost the game, because I just thought about it. I was like, the Warriors didn't play all that well. They made some timely buckets, but if Kevin Herter, they had a third scorer, I really think the Kings would have pulled this one off.
Tyler, what do you think of that with the Kings there and how they performed outside of Fox as well?
I mean, Fox, Monk, Sabonis, he just isn't.
What's disappointing you about him? Just too low to the ground?
He's soft when he tries to take a dribble inside like the key.
He has no right hand.
Stripped. He has no right hand. It seems like he's a bowl in a china cabinet every time he's in the key. Just lowering his shoulder. There's a lot to be desired. I thought he had more finesse game. I think the game changer was Gary Payton coming. I was like, is he still sick? Why isn't he playing in the first half? He didn't really play much in the second half. And when he came in the game, everything changed. The baseline opened up for those dunks, the layups, easy buckets, and he just defended better than DiVincenzo. And he always does.
This might have actually been a game for once in a while where I was like, well, why isn't Poole in?
Poole played good too a little bit in the first half.
I thought Poole played really good.
Tyler be cracking me up because the bull in the China shop's big, but bull in the China in a cabinet, man, that's small. Like
that's even tougher. That's even tougher. In a cabinet, doing it in a cabinet, I agree.
No, but usually the state is bull in a China shop. But
what did you think? Poole even had 2 steals, Casey, though. Poole had 2 steals there too. And the one thing I liked also, I wrote it down, I was so impressed, is the Warriors actually ran a 2-on-1 break properly. They didn't, him and Curry didn't settle.
Poole took a 3 on a terrible.
Yeah, but the ones I saw, the critical moments, it was a 2-on-1 and they just kind of ran it. They ran like literally a 2-on broke. Curry made the layup, then Poole made the layup. I was like, oh my God, they're gonna have like they didn't go out for a shot. I couldn't believe it.
The little Hercules.
Yeah, got Adam tuning in here. Thanks. Got 8 people in the chat here. Take a listen. Adam, thanks for Red Velvet. He's referring to her there. Might be the worst nickname I've ever heard. The Red Velvet. For him, that is a pretty bad one. There. In case your mic's got a little bit of a crackle there too. If you want to
Let's see if I can hop back on, fella.
I gotcha. What do you think there, Tyler? If we talk about Poole just a little bit more there, you said you maybe didn't like the fast breaks he was running there with it. I thought he did pretty good with it. What do you think? You're muted too. You're muted.
I feel like you should go 3-on-3 for fast breaks if it's 2-on-1. The one where he flared out for a 3 like he was Klay Thompson and took the 3, missed it, open to look, so you can't complain. But he just missed it. I thought he played well. I thought he played aggressive. He finished around the hoop in the first half very well. As a Warriors fan, it feels like he travels every time he goes to the hoop. But I'll take it. It's NBA. Everybody's traveling.
Did you think
just a good game? It's not a game you can complain about Jordan Poole.
Did you think anything of that Monk foul on Curry? Nothing dirty. I'm just asking. Nothing dirty there. That was just a regular foul, in your opinion? Just making sure. I think I was the same way on it. My biggest takeaway every time I watch a Warriors game right now is just the impact Looney has on the Warriors winning the championships now. I know the other guys are the given, right? But he just understands their system. Even that one where he was wide open for about 9 seconds, it felt like, and he's like, oh yeah, I guess I could just drive in for a layup. And then, you know what I mean? And he finishes well for his weirdness around the rim. It looks like he does it. It's I don't know. He doesn't look like he jumps, and I don't know. I'm always just really impressed with Looney.
Hey, D, I was gonna ask how many points did Looney end up with tonight? 4 or 6?
He ended up with
he scored a couple of buckets at the end.
With 4?
Yeah.
So they were saying, as I was watching the broadcast, obviously tonight, Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain, only guys with 5 points or less and 20 rebounds in a playoff game, and Looney's got 3 of them. The other 2 got 5 and 4. It's pretty crazy. Looney with Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell.
When did you think the Warriors maybe had this game? Or was it until the very end? Was there a moment earlier in the game where you're like, okay, they're turning a little bit. I'm feeling a little bit of motion. Did you feel anything different, or was it the very end? It was 1-point game, obviously, but I did feel a little bit better than I usually do in some of these road games in the third quarter than I usually. They felt like they were keeping that lead, and they weren't just. At least the Kings were, when they were fighting back. I felt like the Warriors they were showing more fight than they usually did there.
I'll be real and honest, is when Andrew Wiggins hit that sexy fall away, fade away, and I was
a minute left.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, okay, now I can feel kind of comfortable.
Back to back, that boy fadeaways back to back.
Was that a bad possession too? I was like, come on, give it up, Andrew, and he just kept dribbling, and then he came in and hit the shot. I was like, all right, well, that works. I didn't feel comfortable until Steph got that and one. I felt like
it looked like he palmed the ball, by the way, on that play. If I'm being aware, did it look like something weird happened there? Yeah, that Curry play there.
Yeah.
It looked like something.
I was never comfortable because the way the game was reffed in the fourth quarter, and the way Stan Van Gundy was just riding the Kings, the whole game. I was like, this seems set
You must
up.
want a job on Mike Brown's staff.
This means set up for the Kings to win. Like the way this is all going down, not one foul in the whole fourth quarter until like 2 minutes left. I don't know.
I think Stan's
and
the first.
two of those, like, whatever those fouls were, where you get a technical, like, an extra free throw. I was like, this is crazy. I haven't seen one of these all year long, and I get 2 1/4.
I think Stan's the only person where Tyler was like, I might switch over the Bob.
You're right. I would.
Stan even pointed out they could play extra tough, Tyler, because of those extra fouls there. So he definitely pointed out everything. Once he with Adams got here tuning in, I watched the Warriors broadcast. That's tough. That's tough. You know that, and you even said that. And not as a Fitz fan, that's tough. As a Warriors, if you're going Fitz there, you got to give us the bad ones. If it's Harlem, we're listening. It's automatic there. All right. So we talked about maybe. What's a player of the game? If you have to kind of go to one guy for you, who's the player of the game?
So I go with GP2.
Yeah,
he came up huge.
I like that.
He had small buckets that had magnitude for the game. It's kind of weird because Kevon
and 4 offensive rebounds.
Well, yeah, no, those were huge, very huge, and we look back at it now as Warriors fans is like. Could James Wiseman fill that role, that GP? It's weird, giving up that first round pick, top 3 pick, and here you got a guy that you traded 5 second rounders for. He's coming up pretty large, at least in this first series for them.
No, he's definitely giving that guard depth that they have. He rebounds the ball for his size. That's the thing. Could Wiseman get 4 offensive rebounds? I'm not sure in the same way. You know what I mean, Tyler? He just finds a way to scrappy his way to it. And he knows the Warriors system a little bit. And tonight was definitely his type of game.
The way he cuts on the baseline is just it's the system, like you said. He does it perfectly. He gets those alley-oops, those little bounce passes from Looney that sets up his 7 assists. Looney and Draymond. As much as I rip on Draymond was spectacular. That little 1-footed fadeaway, the steal in the corner without even looking, just sort of knowing that the ball, he's going to pass him. Draymond, this was your game.
Your pass to Thompson for the backcourt is forgiven.
Yeah, exactly. That was not a good play, but
Casey, should we mention number 30 at some point in this podcast?
Well, yeah, too. That almost goes without saying it. That's how good he is now, right?
Yeah.
almost
what that tough layup at the end, man. To me, that was it's my God, we have a superstar. We always think that, but you see these finishes where he goes baseline. He's getting the Kings really beat him up well at that point. They were kind of cut it to 1, I think. Or no, yeah, they cut it to 1 after those take fouls you were talking about, Tyler, and then they come off them and they hit it. I thought that was just a crazy Steph type shot. I got our guy P Shark here too. Didn't appreciate it. Shout out to Ferris and Barnes. We said that this is the one thing that Kings fans and Warriors fans 90 miles apart. We can unite. The missed shots by Barnes. We can't unite on that. And I late in the game, the announcer's he shot it from the same place. He misses it. They shot it from bringing it out. And then, of course, we are an NBA podcast as well. The Hemi Butler. My God. We're going to do a VFN NBA. We'll talk on that at the end. P Shark, you've been telling me about this guy as soon as I met you, in the sense of I didn't believe in him on the playoffs. Slap me silly. I got it. I got the point, Jimmy. I got it. Right? I don't have to rub it in my face anymore.
Hey, what do you think about Jimmy Butler to speak on that? You think he's a better Kawhi Leonard?
Well, yeah, he plays.
He's not better than Kawhi Leonard.
No, he's not better than Kawhi that overall.
Well, I just mean he shows up.
Yeah,
he's there.
They've got 2 championships and 2 finals MVPs. I don't see it is.
But look at the Miami. Look at the Miami roster, the Minnesota roster, and the Bulls roster that he played for.
What's so special about that Toronto roster he won a championship with? There's nothing special about it.
He got that bounce, the bounce of lifetime over there. Hey, Casey, can I ask you real quick, though, back to the Warriors game about the Warriors bench overall? Or do you think they just start Green or they start Poole until they lose at this point?
You got to just keep playing Draymond off the bench. I think you can mix and match Looney and Draymond at times, but like I
It's
said,
almost like his skill set helps better off the bench, don't you think? In some weird way.
That's what I was saying. You can't play Draymond and Kevon really too many minutes at a time because the offense
You
is
should have the
so
balls
stagnant.
offer.
I mean, it's so stagnant, the offense, when they're both on the floor. And when you got 4 shooters and 5 shooters, or sometimes it makes a world of difference. And if you look at Jordan Poole's numbers when him starting and coming off the bench, I think it's like a 7-point game difference. I mean, he's a way different player starting.
You paid him that money to start him.
I got 2 points to make on what you just said, Casey, and they're both agree with you. The Jordan Poole coming off the bench, I'll go somewhere. The fact that people blame Clay for not letting Jordan Poole be who Jordan Poole is when he starts is laughable at this point. And the second point, we'll go back to Draymond Green. He is unselfish in the fact that he's willing to come off the bench and be the same player, almost even better off the bench, it seems like, at least the way he played today and the games he played at game 4 when he played at home. Just 2 spectacular performances from Draymond Green where he plays a little more aggressive, and it's good to see. And I actually like the way he plays off the bench, where he's not just handing the ball off to Steph, getting him open through where he'll go and drive, get a basket, or even take a little fadeaway jumper.
As this series is moving on, it kind of has that Kings Celtics feel in the sense of like roster shape against each other. Like the Kings you're starting to see as they're playing out more games, like they just don't have as many scorers as the Warriors. Like, doesn't mean they can't win. And that sounds crazy to say because they were the number 1 seed in the playoffs. But I think if you do it, right, there's an extra depth chart as you go at times, and especially when Wiggins is making shots and when Poole is. That's when the Warriors have that depth. And then obviously if Green, I mean, that's just found money. That where nobody's expecting that ever again the rest of the playoffs.
Well, yeah, I mean, to speak about what you're saying, Darren, honestly, if you're bringing Alex Lynn and Davion Mitchell off the bench and you're going DiVincenzo,
we were pissed about Alex after game 1, remember?
Yeah. I'm just saying, if you're going like hand for hand and like player for player, like Alex Lynn, Draymond Green, DiVincenzo, Davion Mitchell, it's like it's just those 2 players. And once you shorten the playoff rotations, it's usually about 9 at tops. You're playing 8, significant minutes, and that's been a big difference. And the one guy I have to say, he's earned at least my trust, and I can tell Steve Kerr's starting to get along with that program, is Moses Moody.
He's at least starting. I mean, he's at least giving him a shot over your guy coming at the beginning of the game. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's at least giving him a first run to see if he can make a 3 or something.
And he didn't even play bad in that first run.
No, but that game was too critical. You know what I mean? Like, he better be playing damn good to get more run in like a game like that. It just felt like it to me. Are you better with? But hold on, Casey, are you happier with Kerr's rotations?
Well, JaMychal Green hasn't seen the floor, so I'm very appreciative.
That helps you a little bit with that.
I agree with that.
No, I think it's the W that's helping you like the rotations just a little bit more there. But I hear you on some of that stuff. I do think the other part too with the game is that fourth quarter, the run, like the Warriors, like the runs both teams went on, right? Like I think maybe it was the Warriors in the third quarter, they went on like a 12-0 run or something like that, and the Kings go on a 13-0 run to cut it close to the game. So just a few things there. All right, a couple minutes here, and then we'll call it a show here. Warriors post game. King, they defeat the Kings 123-116, have the chance to close them out, advance to take on either the Lakers or P Sharks Grizzlies over here. If you still listen over there, they get the win tonight versus the Lakers. So, case it's not Lakers in 5, but they still have the upper hand going back to LA there with it. What do you think, though, back to it? Let's give me your, real quick, a show me player. We talked about him. Who's the guy that needs to step up for you in game 6 to finish the deal? Casey, who's your show me player for next game?
DiVincenzo.
At home.
I think if he gives the Warriors 15, money.
15, I'll take that. I'll take 15.
Money.
Tyler, what do you got for show me player?
First, I want to shout out Steph Curry. Like, people who don't watch the Warriors every day think he's just this three-point shooter who today proves what he is. He can do everything on a basketball court. He's spectacular. He's amazing. My show me player, it's Klay Thompson. The Warriors go as Klay Thompson goes. If he's hitting shots, and you get a Klay flurry, they're near impossible to beat. If he can have one of those like 9 points in a minute or 2 minutes or 3 minutes, like little runs, it's tough to beat.
He's so much better now than he was earlier in the season, though. Like it's not even like he just way more.
No, he was terrible the first 20 games. We talked about it.
Yeah, it's just amazing to see how much more comfortable how much more comfortable he is. Even his defense, I thought's got a little bit better, even though he's been fouling Tyler.
I always think Tyler, obviously Oakland has hopped over to San Francisco now. With Steph Curry. I think it's almost like Joe Montana, Steph Curry, Jerry Rice, and Barry Bonds, top 4 all time in Bay Area in San Francisco now.
I think he's definitely surpassed any Warrior, right?
Yeah, I would. I mean, yeah, I would. Those are my 4.
I would put Willie Mays probably right behind him.
I think
Willie Mays could be ahead of Barry Bonds, maybe, just because of the cheating allegations. Ricky Henderson could find his way in there if you're an Oakland fan.
Hey, man,
but yeah, those are probably Rice, Montana, and Curry are a given, I think, at this point.
Like that appreciation to the Bay Area, what you were speaking about. Like, sometimes we take for granted. Sometimes we take for granted how special Steph Curry is right now.
Oh man, we do. I just said some of those finishes were ridiculous. What was that floater he hit from 17 feet? That was ridiculous. I was like, he threw it 50 feet in the air. I was like, my God. I'm telling you, that finish he made at the end of the game that was a big time bucket to go up by 3. That's the one that stands out to me out of all the one tonight. Actually, I kind of remember his misses more, where he was wide open to kind of making an 8-point game at the top of the key there with a minute and a half left. So he missed that one. That felt like, oh boy, we gave him a little life there too. But I feel
like we remember his misses a lot more because he makes a lot more.
He wasn't good from 3 today. He was 2 of 10, and he still scored 31, had 6 or 7 assists, and got to the line 5 times. He's a spectacular player. He's just unbelievable.
My show me player is gonna be Jordan Poole. And the reason is, if we're going back home, you've played a couple good games here. We need you. If we're gonna keep winning, you're gonna be even more important. Let's see the rhythm now start to come back to where we're more consistent. So I'd like to see a 3-game kind of streak here where I'm like, okay, he's playable and we want him in at moments, right? That's where we're liking it. He was tougher today. That's the thing I like. He's more decisive, Case. He wasn't just herky jerky and kind of out of control, and he just felt a little bit more under control when he was attacking the basket.
I mean, he played instead of
he still took his crazy shots.
I mean, at least he played a lick of defense. I mean,
he did.
He got 2 big steals.
Yeah, it was like Tyler's brother, Kyle. Hey, I'm not gonna play defense, but if I can steal the ball,
I'll run around like hell and I'll get every steal on that. The AI
but he's gonna make some timely threes though and put up buckets where you're like, oh, those were huge. You know what I mean? No. Just the effort though. Just when you have a guy that usually is just known for an offensive player, and he comes up with 2 big steals that. Those are playoff minutes.
I was studied. I had to write it down. It was so studied and bigger than the other words. Adam says Wiggins. He's definitely one. He's been playing really well. His rebounding is just every time he plays, right, Tyler? It's gosh, that rebounding is nice to have. That's nice to have at that size. All right, last thing.
Isn't it nice not to see Ty Jerome and Anthony Lamb?
Very nice. It is very nice not to see Tony.
We saw
Tony Lamb. Can I call him Tony Lamb?
We can call him Tony Porkchop.
Instead of Anthony, can I call him Tony?
Doug Buddy's dog.
I thought no, Tyler. If we're not seeing Ty Jerome, I mean, this is good things. We do not want to see Ty. We do not want to ever see Anthony very often. He did block the shot this pussy. All right. Last thing here, look ahead to Friday night. It's an earlier game, folks. 5:00 start as of right now, because of the Bucks finishing off the Heat. All right, let's call our shot. Warriors got a chance.
The Heat finishing
off. Or excuse me, the Heat finished off the Bucks tonight, like we said with the Hemi Butler shot there. Pete Shark called out. Case, we'll start with you. Game 6, Warriors. They finish it off, or we go back to Sacramento for a Game 7.
P. Diddy would say, "We coming home. We coming home, baby." Oh man, it's gonna be so luxurious and glorious and just notorious. We're just gonna be. Oh yeah, it's gonna be a beautiful thing, man. Just my coworker, he loves Sacramento, and I'm like, oh man, come on now. So De'Aaron Fox, shoot, 1 busted finger, shoot, we're gonna give you 2. I go, what do you mean 2? He said we're gonna get 2 dubs. I was like, nope, ain't gonna happen. So we got 2 dubs wait for him. So it's gonna be ready, man. That Oracle is gonna be loud.
Chase Center.
or Chase Center, excuse me.
Yeah.
It's gonna be popping over there. It's gonna be a loud place, and like Tyler said, like the previous time, I hope the fans show up early and it's something special because it's gonna be a beautiful thing.
No, for sure. Show up there, be something with it. What do you got Tyler, to finish it off for Game 6? I think the Kings still make it a push. I think they're going to give everything, obviously, in a game like this.
I mean, I agree. I think it'll be a good game. I had Game 6 the whole way, even when they were down 2-0. We lit the beam in Sacramento like it was Independence Day, blowing up the White House. I think we go back to the Chase Center and we just finish them off. I don't think it's really going to be that close to the game. I think Steph Curry has one of those performances.
You think that if
they dig the grave, they put the dirt back on top, and they pat it real nice and soft and put that little cross.
If I'm being the only pessimistic here, is we got to remember this Warriors team has showed weaknesses in moments like this during the regular season. No, I know, but during the regular season, even at home, they never really put together a streak where you're like, this team's a championship team. Right? That you would say that. We talked about that before the playoffs started. But it does feel like they're starting to get the rhythm back a little bit. I think they're sensing the moment. The Rudy Tomjanovich, the heart of a champion. They got the heart of a champion. They're starting to come through a little bit more with it. So I'm with you guys.
Washington punches.
I'm questioning Darren right now a little bit, Tyler. He got the purple underneath the Kings with the black hat. I don't know where you go with
your sweatshirt, man.
You were hiding it though.
I'm not hiding it. I just don't want to show. I'm trying to give you.
I think it's just
trying to get the fans to get stuff here.
Middle school Warriors.
Yeah, man. Come on, right, show the real deal.
Exactly, we got the real deal here. All right, so we got Game 6, like we said, Friday night. We all got the Warriors finishing off because I think we know we don't want a Game 7 back in Sacramento. That's a big no-no. That's like something you don't want to do when you have a chance to finish off a team in Game 6. I expect the Kings to show up, though. It definitely won't be a blowout. All these games, gentlemen. Tyler, I mean, one hell of a series. I mean, there's been some other ones, too, that have been good, too, but good Lord.
Not like this.
Every game has just been fantastic. I mean, yeah, Game 3, other than that one, they all been good.
Brian. Casey, I mentioned it before. Kevon Looney get a statue out in front of Chase Center?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, he probably will. I think he'll get a statue, but he's going to have to build them himself. So.
He'll have to build it himself.
Just like he did with his NBA career, just start from the ground to the from the bottom to the top. Just pour that thing, get some quick read, build that thing up.
Hey, I'll help him build it. I'll help him. There's fans out there. We'll do it for him. Go fund me with Looney's.
Go fund me Kevon Looney statue.
All right, we're up on it. Post game show.
Looney before KD.
Tyler, Casey, let's go Game 6 Friday night. Until then, boys. We're out. Peace.
Peace.